Right, the UFC is back this weekend with a banger of a main event in the middleweight division. We've got Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez in the middleweight division. Really good main event. Ranked number 3 against ranked number 4. Um, you couldn't ask for much more, really. Top middleweights going at it. Sean primarily being a striker, Anthony Hernandez mainly being a grappler slash, I don't really know, because his last performance was so dominant. He pretty much did everything. He just battered and bruised Roman Delate. And yeah, but we're doing the fight predictions. You know how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about the guy on the left, then we're going to talk about the guy on the right, aka being Sean, and Anthony Hernandez, aka Fluffy Hernandez. So let's get straight into it with Sean Strickland being on my left. 29 wins with 7 losses. Not a bad record, pretty stacked, to be fair. He's got 11 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, 9 first-round finishes. His good wins, he's obviously got Paulo Costa. What was his last win? Israel Adesanya to be win the title, also former middleweight champion. Makhmudov, meh. He beat the number 1 contender currently in Nasruddin Imamov. Jack Hermanson, Uriah Hall, Brandon Allen, who's currently on a roll. Who else has he got? I'd say they're his probably best wins. Yeah, they're his best wins, to be fair. But then losing to Santana Ponzinibbio at welterweight, lost to Kamaru Usman at welterweight. So 2 decent guys, Kamaru being a pound-for-pound best at one point. Lost to Alex Pereira, by KO. So let's be honest, Alex Pereira is one of the GOATs, if you like it or not. Lost a split decision to Jared Cannonier. Realistically, he should have won that. He definitely should have won that. Then lost his belt against Dracus du Plessis in an absolute barn burner. Give that fight a watch. It's the first fight. And then last time out, lost to Dracus again. To be fair, he deserved a title shot anyway after how close the first one was. But yeah, from America, he's 34, still in his prime. But, Sean Strickland, he is probably one of the best middleweights, in my opinion, to come out of recently. People are saying, Sean wasn't really that good. I mean, if you look at his resume, Paulo Costa, Jack Hermanson, Israel Adesanya, Nasruddin Imavov, he's beating everyone. And then who's he lost to at middleweight? He lost to Alex Pereira, who was a champion. Jared Cannonier, he should have won. And then he's lost to, Dracus du Plessis. But Dracus du Plessis has probably been the best middleweight in current years. I know, obviously, Dracus lost to Hamzat, but Hamzat hasn't really done much at middleweight yet, apart from beating Usman on short notice. Robert Whittaker, okay, you beat Rob, fair play, and then you beat Dracus in a thingy. So Sean's only lost to the best guys, to be fair. He can punch. He's got 11 wins by knockout. He can grapple because he's got 4 submissions. I think for Sean, the way to win this fight is definitely to keep it on the feet. You've got to keep it on the feet. Use your blistering jab. His jab's an absolute sniper. The 1-2s especially. Put the pressure on, because Anthony Hernandez, we know he's gonna try and put the pressure on. So don't go back. Don't go back on the back foot. Constantly on the front foot, just marching forward. Sean probably isn't going to get knocked out. I mean, the only person to properly knock him out, Alex Pereira and Ponzinibbio, but that was at welterweight, a drained Sean Strickland. So that's what I think about Sean. I think Sean can I think it's a win-win for both guys. I think they can both win it, I'm saying. But, I think it's a great matchup for Sean. Definitely, if he beats Anthony Hernandez, you've got to look at him potentially getting back to a title shot. Definitely won't deserve the title shot, but if he gets another big win, he definitely does. So let's go on to Anthony Hernandez. 1 second. There you go. I'm doing it off my iPad today. I didn't do my notes. But yeah, so Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, ranked number 4 middleweight. 15-2. Impressive resume. He's got 3 knockouts, 9 wins by submission, and 5 first-round finishes. I've watched Anthony Hernandez for I believe his first fight inside the UFC. Yeah, his first fight in the UFC against Perez. So we'll go through the resume. So he lost his debut, lost by submission against Perez. I think it's like Michel Perez. Beat Park, lost to Kevin Holland in the first round. That's the one I properly watched of him where I actually knew, somewhat. So yeah, lost to him. Beat Vera, some other guy. Barry Alt, decent win at middleweight. Edmund Shabazian, another good win. Now this is where it gets really good. So he beat Roman Kopylov, who we all know is a top middleweight who's outside. He's probably the best middleweight outside the top 15. Michel Pereira, but he beat Kopylov by submission, Pereira by KO. He beat Brandon Allen via decision and then got a submission against Roman Delarte. So what's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 big wins, 8 big wins in a row, an 8-fight win streak. He's definitely on the rise, and his stamina, his cardio is unmatched. He's also 32, from America as well. He's on one at the minute. He's definitely a guy who, if you're looking at the middleweight division and thinking, what's the hardest matchup for Khamzat? I think Anthony Hernandez, just for the fact of the pace he brings, he can strike, he can definitely grapple. 9 wins by submission. He's definitely not going to give up. I mean, the Roman Kopylov fight, he was getting beaten until he took Kopylov down and ended up getting the submission. So he's definitely the guy at the minute, apart from Nasruddin, who I can also go, you know what, he's also the guy who could give Khamzat a run for his money. I think the way he just mixes everything in, he bullies you. He is like a middleweight Marob. That's the best way to describe Anthony Hernandez, the middleweight Marob. He just constant forward pressure. He'll take you down. He'll let you back up. He'll start punching the hell out of you, take you back down again. He's a menace. So that's the way I think he's also got to win. Just do what he did in the last fight. You looked $1 million against Roman Delarte and then eventually getting the submission. Roman Delarte did not have an answer for anything. Too much pressure. The cardio was unmatched against that. His cardio is elite. To do what he did against Roman Delarte and just absolutely batter him is ridiculous. Roman Delarte being a quite decent middleweight and Anthony Hernandez made it look easy. So I think he's definitely got to just do what he's been doing. I think that's the way to win for him. My actual predictions for this fight, I think Anthony Hernandez... I don't know. I really don't know because I like Sean. I've always been a fan of Sean Strickland, and I think Sean, I think he gets a lot of hate because he's outspoken. He lost to Drakus twice. But apart from losing to Drakus twice, he's kind of beat also quite a lot of top middleweights. He's beaten Israel, he's beaten Brandon Allen, he's beaten Nasruddin Imanov. If you put it like that, he's beaten quite a lot of the top 5. He hasn't beaten Anthony Hernandez, but he's fighting on Saturday. He hasn't beaten... I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that is it, to be fair. In the top 5 of middleweight, who hasn't he beat? Okay, so top 5 is Brandon Allen, Anthony Hernandez, Sean himself, Nasruddin, Drakus du Plessis, and then Israel being 6. So, but in the top 15, he's beaten 1, 2, 3, 4... and obviously then fighting Anthony Hernandez on Saturday. So he's beaten quite a lot of the top guys already. Beaten 2 of the top 5. Obviously then got a win over the ranked number 6. I think this is a 50-50 matchup. I definitely think both guys can win. I'm not going to do a prediction for this one because I think it's as close could be. But I definitely think if Anthony Hernandez wins this fight, he is rather him or Nasser. I think Nasruddin has deserved the shot, but you've also got to make an argument for Anthony Hernandez to get that title shot, definitely. But yeah, that's my predictions, guys. Not really a prediction because I haven't got one. I don't know, guys. No, I'm not doing a prediction, but if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that business. And this is the only fight I'm going to cover on this card. I'll be honest, the card is good. It's quite a stacked card, to be fair, but this is the only one I am going to do. You've got Jeff Neal co-main eventing against a guy I've never heard of, I'll be honest. Dan Ige versus Costa. Costa being the white guy with the colory hair, and then he's got that condition where he's got like the spots on him. I don't really know who. I can't even pronounce his first name. You got Sergey Spivak v Anthony Delija. Jacoby Smith, really a good upcoming welterweight. Michelle Pierre is on the card. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked card, to be fair. Especially for a fight night, that's actually quite good. But yeah, so they're my predictions. Let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you in a bit. Peace.